Hello everyone, welcome to Technique Tuesday. It is Tuesday the 28th of November 2023 and I'm a little later this afternoon than I normally am. I said today I would start at 3 o'clock rather than 2 o'clock only because I had my twice it's actually every second month I hold my stamp club, and that finished about an hour ago, and so rather than I gave myself a little bit of extra time, and so that's why I'm a little bit later this afternoon. How is everyone today? Are we all well? I see we have no comments yet, but we do have people watching, so hi, please say hello when you jump on in. Hey Marilyn, hey Denise, hi there girls, lovely to see you. I'm going to be doing a technique today that I haven't used for a while, but it's one of my favorites, and it can be part of scene building. But the technique we're going to do today is the reflection technique. So easy, such an easy thing. Hey Cheryl and Jolene, hi Janine. We did have fun at Stamp Club. Thank you very much. We made my Stamp Club every second month. They make my craft along project, the one that I'm going to do live tomorrow afternoon. They get to make that here in person with me. So that's how that works. You walk to work. That's a long way, 7 to 8 miles. Of course. That's the downside of cold weather, isn't it? Your car not being able to start. I hope you were nice and warm. I hope you rugged up. Hey there, Ross from Florida. Hi. Oh, it's too cold. Too cold, Jolene. It's not like that here. It's actually pretty nice here today because we're in summer now, but we've had some overcast weather this week, so it's a much cooler day today. Hello, Sharon. Nice to see you. Looking forward to seeing you next year, next April. April. It's not that far away. We get to go. Our next Stampin' Up trip is to Mexico, so we're a bit excited about that. That's a fantastic chance to get together. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there, Sharon. We'll have to have a drink. Have to have a drink at the bar. I believe there's some swim-up bars or underwater. No, there's some caves in the resort that we're staying in, so I think there's a bar in the cave. Hey, Janine, you like reflections? Yes. Look, there are actually several reflections techniques, so I'm just going to do one really simple one today, and we're going to build a scene with it. So, hey, Carol from Canada. Which part of Canada are you in, Carol? Hello, Julie. Nice to see you. Thank you. I'm glad you get to watch. I'm trying to pick different techniques each Tuesday because, believe it or not, there are so many different techniques that you can do that should keep us going for quite a while. And then once this video is finished, I have to head up to the post office. So we probably should get started. Mexico does sound amazing. I know the resort looks so cool. I'm very excited about it. See, Carol, I have not been to New Brunswick. That's somewhere I've never been. So there you go. I have been from west to east, but we didn't go to New Brunswick. We started in Vancouver and Vancouver Island, went all the way across the country. We did fly, though, between Calgary and I can't remember. I think it was Ottawa. And then we ended up going to Toronto and staying in that area for a while, and then across to Quebec, Nova Scotia. We did a lot of places, but not New Brunswick. Sorry about that. And Brenda's in Saskatchewan. Well, we flew right over the top of that. Hey, Lani, nice to see you. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to switch over to my desk, and I'm going to be playing with this stamp set. Now, this is a really great stamp set for this technique. The reflection technique works really well if you think about what you might want to see reflected in perhaps water. Water is the most logical thing to work with. Hello, Jennifer. How are you going? Or Jenny. I never know what to call you. I'm so sorry. Patricia, hi. Oh, good to hear, Janine. I wouldn't want you freezing to death on the walk to work. That would be bad. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to start with a piece of good old basic white cardstock here. Oh, thanks, Ellen. Did you find it? Ellen's doing me a favor. We had a conversation just before this video started. You might remember on Sunday night we made a blue card. Does anyone remember the card with the handcrafted elements ornament, and we put it on a vellum square that we turned sideways so it became a diamond, and we colored it with Night of Navy ink. And I cannot find my Night of Navy ink. It has totally disappeared off the planet. It must be somewhere, but Ellen was going to watch the video at the end to see if she could see where I put it in the video. On the left side of my desk. Well, that's where I've been looking and it's not there. Thank you. Thanks anyway. Hey there, Deb. Nice to see you. All right, let's get started. So I've already popped this on a block. Because I don't have Night of Navy ink because I cannot find it, I'm going to be using Misty Moonlight instead. Now, if ever you are wondering, Misty Moonlight is actually a pretty good substitute for Night of Navy. It's just not quite as dark, okay, but it's a very similar tone. I know the ink is normally on my right, but I put all the ink pads. I put them away. I don't know where it's gone. Never mind. Never mind. We'll work it out. In the meantime, I'm going to start by stamping with Misty Moonlight instead of Night of Navy. Hi there, Donna. Nice to see you. All right, so I'm going to start, and I'm going to put this up a little bit higher. I'm not going to put them right in the middle because I want to have room for the reflection down below. So I'm going to put them in sort of the top third of this piece of cardstock. Now I've measured this piece to be kind of just slightly smaller than card front size. So we'll go over those measurements at the end if anyone would like me to. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a reflection with these. And that's super, super easy to do. This is a very easy technique, but then we're going to build it up and do a whole card with it. I've got a piece of window sheet or acetate here, and I'm just going to pop that down and I'm going to stamp on my piece of acetate. So I'm going to pop that straight down, and be very careful when you stamp on acetate because it's slippery and you don't want to kind of put it down and then slip in one direction or another, which will make your stamp really blurry. So be very careful to place it and just hold it in one spot. And then I'm going to lift that up. So now I have my trees on my acetate. Can you see that? And what I want to do to create this reflection, I'm going to take my trees on the acetate. You might see that they look a little bit lighter than what they've stamped here, and that's as it should be. When you stamp on a non-porous substance like this acetate, it's not going to stamp as clear or dark. And we're going to flip the whole thing over, okay, so that the stamping now is on the underside. And I'm going to line these up with the bottom of my trees as much as I can. Okay, and I'm going to put my finger, I'm just going to rub it very gently. Be very careful, look there, to not move your acetate, which is what I just did, but that's okay. It doesn't matter too much if it moves slightly because it's kind of going to give it a bit of a blurry look. And if it was in the water, it would probably look a little bit blurry anyway. So actually that won't look bad. So let's move that up, and that's our reflection. This is, as you can see, this is a little bit lighter than this, and that's exactly what we want. We want it to be lighter. Okay, so now we have a reflection, but we don't have any water or anything else. Okay, so there's a number of things you could do. Okay, we could just put in some water by using an aqua painter or a blending brush. We could do that, and then maybe use blending brushes for the sky or something like that. But I'm actually going to use the second stamp, and I'm going to use this kind of mound here from the Grassy Grove set. So the two sets I'm using today are Forever Forest and Grassy Grove. We're not using any dyes or anything like that. Okay, so, oh, it's 8 p.m. That is a good time. That's really good. Oh, I'm sure it will. It'll turn up when I least expect it, as a little surprise, Janine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use Mossy Meadow, which is my go-to green. It really is the green I use the most. Hey, Shirley, how are you? And I'm going to ink this up. I've got this on I block, which is a big block because it's a long stamp. All right, so you can see I've inked that up pretty well. Actually, I think I've got it all. And then I'm going to stamp it off. I don't want it to be too dark and have to compete with my trees. So I'm going to stamp it off down here. And you can see how dark that is. Let's come back in here. And I'm going to stamp this again. Now, this will be a lighter result. I'm stamping it so the bottom of it is right near the bottom of the first set of trees. Okay. And you can kind of see how this is looking now. So we've got a mound or mountain or whatever you want to call it going on here behind the trees, all right, which is kind of created kind of a ground line for us as well, or a horizon if you wanted to call it that, which I don't really. But anyway, that's how that would go. So now I can come in and I can do the same thing on the acetate piece again. So I've got my original piece of acetate. You can use separate pieces of acetate. And as you can see, there's almost nothing on here. if you turn it, you can kind of almost see the original. You can't really in the camera, but I can see where the trees were originally stamped. But just so I don't have any problems with ink left over, I'm actually just going to wipe over that with a cloth. And it's ready to go again. And I'm going to come in and stamp my piece again one more time. I'm going to stamp it off because I don't want it to be too dark. All right. And I'm going to stamp it the second time onto the acetate. Now don't forget, it should already be a little bit lighter, so you can see that this is quite a bit lighter than the original green that we stamped. Flip it over, and we're going to put this just below that original stamp that we did. Run my finger over it again. Don't worry if it's not completely perfect because it's a reflection, so it doesn't need to be perfect. All right, so now we kind of have a little bit more of our scene coming together. Is this making sense what I'm doing? The window, this is window sheet. So window sheet, acetate, same stuff. That's what window sheet is. It's just the Stampin' Up name for acetate. So I'm just wiping that off so that I'm not going to get ink anywhere I don't want it to be. Pop it to one side. And now I can start working on building up my scene. So I'm going to start with the water. I've got Misty Moonlight, and where is my, here it is, Balmy Blue. So I've got a couple of blending brushes. You can see which one I use for which. This is the one I always use for Balmy Blue. This is the one I use for Misty Moonlight. Actually, I use it for navy too. I just use it for dark blues. I'm going to start with my lighter color and open up my Balmy Blue. You've been using Ziploc sandwich bags. Yeah, okay. Well, that would be okay if you wanted a really blurry look. You might find that if you want it to be really blurry, that's a great way to go. But if you want it to be a little bit more crisper, I think the window sheets work really, really well. All right, I'm just going to turn this. I want this. I'm going to start working sort of across here. If you wanted this to be a super straight line, you could put down a piece of paper or masking paper. Okay. For example, you know, I could put this down right here and I would get a really straight line. I don't actually want a really straight line because my water's edge isn't super straight. So I'm going to start by coming in with my Balmy Blue, and I'm going to kind of work here in the corner, and I'm going to go up towards that line, but it doesn't matter if it's not super precise because it's kind of hidden by the reflection anyway. And we'll keep adding color. I'm going to keep building it up. I'm only doing the water at the moment. We'll worry about the sky in a little bit. I love building scenes. I don't know why. There's something really satisfying about it to me. And there's so many different ways we can build scenes. Did anyone see in that, when I did the unboxing, I was talking about that new stamp set that's coming in the new January catalogue, the one that's called, what's it called? Tuscany something. Here it is. I've actually got the stamp set, The Hills of Tuscany. There you go. Can't wait to show you this. This will definitely be a Technique Tuesday where I'm going to go through how to use that to make a fantastic watercolor scene. We'll have a lot of fun with that one. That's super, super my style. All right. So now I have my water. And you can see there's darker and lighter colors in different places. That's perfect. That's what I want. Okay. Now I'm going to go up to my darker blending brush. And this time I'm not going to do as much of the water. I'm only going to go around the edges. So I'm just going to grab some ink. We're going to go over the corners. And kind of just do around the edges. The good thing about blending brushes is you can just keep blending up the color until it gets to the depths that you want it to. And I really like this. I think it goes really nice. And you can see we get lots of color on the grid paper underneath too. Some of you may have seen one of the things that's coming in the new catalogue in January is a special. It's actually a joining special to get a glass mat. I am super excited about it. Can't wait to get mine. I'll get mine next month so I can show you all. And anyone who's thinking about joining in January, that'll be a really great thing to have. And I'll show you why I like them so much. All right, how are we going there? How's that looking? So this way, this extra depth around the edges makes it look like we've got shallower water here and deeper water around here. Okay, it's looking good, but I really want to get my sky happening. Now, if I had done this on watercolor paper, and maybe we'll do that another day, we would get a totally different look, and I would get my water painters in and move the color around and do different things. But on the basic white, the color doesn't move around as well, so I find just sticking to the blending brushes is better. Now, I can change the color of the sky if I wanted to. In this case, I'm going to actually stick with these colors. I did do one earlier. Oh, where did I put that? Oh, here we go. And I did it with purple in the sky, but I didn't like it as much. Okay, you can kind of see how it went though. It kind of looks like a stormy sky, and we could get some water in and flick that around, and because we've got this saturation of color here, that would create like stars in the sky, kind of. But I'll do that with this. We'll see how we go. If anyone wants me to do the water speckle, we can. All right, let's grab this. True, Janine, you are correct. That's right. Janine was just saying it sounds like building scenes lets me use some of my art skills. Exactly. I love using anything that reminds me of art lessons, things that over the years that I've really enjoyed doing. And so it's a lot of fun for me. And do you know, I think this kind of technique, building scenes, makes anyone feel artistic, because you end up with something that's unique. They turn out different every time, and it's very satisfying just having all that going on. Now, I was going to put a moon in this, but I forgot. So we just won't have a moon. This is a moonless night. That's okay. Not every night has to have the moon, right? All right, so I've got my color here. Now I'm going to come in with my darker color. Actually, I'm going to add a bit more of the balmy blue. I really want there to be good saturation of colors. So if we decide to speckle, that there'll be plenty of ink, plenty of color to work with. Now, I'm kind of avoiding the actual horizon. Can you see that? I've kind of left it in the middle, so it's hardly any color right here, which I think kind of brightens the whole thing up and makes it look like almost like it's got a glow around it. Kind of like that, actually. Water reflects the sky. Yep, very similar indeed. All right, so I'm going to go with my Misty Moonlight again. Would it have looked much different with Night of Navy? No, not a lot, but it would have just been darker around the edges, and the trees would have been a little bit darker. All right, so I'm going to use a little bit more of this than I did at the bottom. So let's just build up some color. And again. So who's never tried this? Who's never tried, well, I got a bit of smudging there, but you know what? That's actually okay, because sometimes the sky is smudgy, right? So that's all right. I'm going to keep working at this until I'm happy with it. So keep adding color. So you can see we've got a bit of smudging here, but I don't mind that, actually. Let's see. Have I tried sunsets? I sure have. Absolutely. Sunsets are fun, and we can do different colors with sunsets. In fact, that would be nice with this as well. But we might do that as a separate technique another time, and we might just do sunsets as a standalone technique. What do you think? Would you like to do that? All right. This is starting to look really good. The color's building up really well. All right. So you just keep going basically until you're happy with it, because you can always add more color. And it kind of, see, we've hardly got any smudginess here now. It's almost got rid of all of that. I'm liking it. It looks really good. You can see it's more color build up here than there is down the bottom. If this were a lake scene, some lakes look green. Absolutely. A good green, probably Lost Lagoon, which if you think about it, the name says it all, doesn't it? Lost Lagoon is a bit like a lake. Lost Lagoon, and then you could edge it with Pretty Peacock, because those two colors go beautifully together. So that would be Lost Lagoon and a bit of Pretty Peacock. I think those would be really nice for a lake. They'd work really, really well. good colours. All right, so I'm liking how this is looking. And I'm just thinking, do I have any water on the table? I do, but look, do I have... Now, there's a couple of options. We can grab a water painter that's got some water in it and flick some water over the edges, or I've got some water in one of my... Oh, here's one. This one's got quite a bit, actually. I've always got some water painters with water here at the end. So we could flick that to create like a starry sky kind of a look. If you don't like to do that, there is actually a stamp in here. You've got one that's got moon and stars, but you've also got like this little dotty effect, which is actually really nice. Have I even used that one yet? Yes, I have. I have used it. Let's put that on D block, and I'll just show you how nice that is. You could do this with white, okay, and emboss it if you wanted to. If we were going to do that, I would use an embossing buddy over this first so that I don't have any stickiness to the existing ink. All of that will be completely, like the powder won't stick to it at all if we do that. And then I could do this over the top so that the powder only sticks to these. I'll just show you how it looks. It's a really nice set. But I could come in here and stamp it with a darker color, but I like the idea of stamping it with white. Ah, well, you could definitely use all of those, Marilyn. That would be really good, actually. All right, let me just clean this off. So we could, like I said, do it embossed, but I'm tempted to just go the easy route and just do some speckling with some water. So let me grab some water out of here. These always get me because normally it's lefty, what is it, lefty loosey, righty tighty. It's the other way around with these guys. All right, so just bear that in mind. You think that you're unscrewing it, but you're not. So, all right, so I'm just going to put a little bit of water on my fingers, and I'm going to flick this. And immediately I start to do this, it should start to pick up some speckles. Oh, there's a couple coming here. And if you don't want any speckles down in the water, you could cover that up. Okay, so I could pop this here so I don't get any speckles on that bottom area, and then I'm only going to get them on the top. Oh, it's looking good. Now it's going to be hard to see initially, but the longer it goes, the more the speckles come out. And some are big and some are small. And it's easy, okay? Such an easy thing to do. So let me pick this up so you can see. Can you see the speckles in the sky? I think it's looking really good. All right, so this is looking great. I really like that. What do you think? Do we like this? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop this onto we could do Misty Moonlight. I've got a larger piece that's Misty Moonlight, or we could pop it onto a piece of Night of Navy. I'm thinking maybe the Night of Navy might be better because it's going to stand out a little bit more. So let me grab a piece of that. So here's a Night of Navy piece. Let's see if this is the right size. I think it might be. Yeah, that looks better because it really darkens up the edges, right? Oh, Margaret, you've been in hospital. I'm so glad that you decided that you could come and join us today, but that's not good. I hope they were able to fix you. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I really appreciate that. I'm just going to pop this on with my seal. And let's throw that on now. As far as greetings go, you could put a greeting anywhere on here. We could have I would think, a small greeting, or, something like this. But just bear in mind, anything you put on this is going to cover up some of our design. But we certainly could do that, or we could have something small in the corner. I'm deciding, I've got my scrap bucket here, and I'm deciding what would look good as far as a greeting goes. What do you guys think? What sort of greeting do you think would go on this card? Something like a thinking of you, or because it's quite pretty, isn't it? What's something that might fit on something small like this? I think that would work really well, actually. What are people saying? It is a good technique. It's so much fun too. It's really very satisfying. If anyone was wondering too, this Forever Forest set that I'm using today, this is not retiring. It's going to carry over. So this is one of our sets. Our retirement list is out right now, but it's not. This is not retiring, and I don't think the dies are either. Let me have a quick look at my book. So this is the book that has all the, thanks to Denise, all the pieces in here that, page 20, I think it is. There we go. So, yeah. So the bundle is retiring. You won't be able to get it as a bundle anymore, but the stamps and the dies are both carrying over. Okay, and there's a little mountain in here. There's the snow falling like the ones I just showed you. There's a single tree, the group trees that we used on this card, and then some taller trees. And in the dies, we've got some taller trees and clouds, but we also have some mountains. Those are really cute. Really like those. I think they're fabulous. So they are going to still be available, but they won't be a bundle in the new catalogue. I like the samples on this page. This one, I think that's beautiful. How gorgeous is that? And they've used one of the deckled circles to create that effect. I'm thinking I might have to duplicate that. That's lovely. Whoever did that one. Oh, that's okay. Bronwyn, you can always go back and watch the replay. No problems at all. I'm thinking I just want to have a greeting that is small that is going to go on here. What is a good greeting to put on here? Anyone got any ideas that we could use for a small greeting? Looking. I can do a hello. I mean, that would be easy. Lots of hellos. Any thoughts, you guys? You like this type of card? Yes. Oh yeah, you could just put a we could just put a greeting on the inside if we wanted to, and I would put this on a basic white card, or you could even go with balmy blue because that color is here on the front too. So you could go balmy blue, or you could go basic white, but I think I'll go basic white. So I've just got myself a basic white card. This is half a sheet of A4, but if you're using letter, same thing. You cut yourself half a sheet and then fold that half a sheet in half, and you have a card size piece of cardstock. All right, so let's pop this on here. And I think the only problem with having stamp club is that all my adhesive pretty much is over on the craft table where we were creating earlier. So, and I didn't think to bring it all back here, but that's okay. I have my trusty seal. So let's pop that right there. I like how the speckles turned out. They look really good, don't they? Looks really nice. And that works. The more you can build up color, the better your water speckles will work. Okay, so it works best when you have lots and lots of color build up. I could, oh no, gold doesn't work. But you know what? Silver would. A strip of silver across the bottom would be really nice. What do you think? Should we do a strip of silver? That could be a go. Oh, look, I've got a hello. Nah, that doesn't look right. Not at all. I can put a greeting inside. Is this a Christmas card? It could be. What do you think? Should this be a Christmas card or should it be something else? If it's a Christmas card, then I love the greetings from the Christmas Classic set. We can have this beautiful big scrolly Christmas, or Deck the Halls, Peace on Earth. That would actually work really well with this if this was a Christmas card. So that's a possibility. What do you guys think? In this one, the Grassy Grove that we used for the mound here at the back, we've got this sometimes you need to know that someone really cares. That would be nice on the inside as well. So you could go either way. a thinking of you. I do have a thinking of you. In fact, I've got one out that we just used in Stamp Club. And that was, we used it for our card at lunchtime. But oh, here it is, found it. This one. And that would be a nice, this would be a nice thinking of you actually on the inside of a card. Let's go thinking of you. Oh, hello, Felicity. How are you? We do have calming and relax in the moment stamp set. We have one here that says sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. You're in my thoughts, or you're always so good to others, be good to yourself too. If I was going to put the greeting on the outside, that you're in my thoughts would fit beautifully on one of these. Okay, so that would be a possibility. If we're going to have thinking of you, I like this thinking of you from the garden meadow set. So shall I go with that? I think I will. All right, so I'm just going to pop this straight down inside here. Thinking of you. Isn't that a nice font too? It's a really good font. And that's with the Misty Moonlight again. And there we go. I think I'm tempted though to use a strip of silver. And I'm thinking, do I have a piece close by? I might. We have that fantastic silver adhesive paper, adhesive back paper. Which is fantastic. Let's go for it. Can't go wrong with a bit of silver glimmer, right? I've just got to dig my trimmer out from underneath a million other things. Now, let's see. Is this the right length? Oh, it is. So when I cut glimmer paper, as a tip, I always cut it from the reverse side because this side, the glimmery side, is a bit like sandpaper. And you do too much of that and you're going to blunt your blade. So we don't want to do that. Now this is actually the right length, perfect. And I'm going to run my fingers over the edge of this until it starts to separate. Okay, once it starts to separate, you can kind of get your finger in there and pull it apart. There it goes. So let's pop this right down the bottom here. And that goes all the way across. There we go. Now we have a nice little strip of silver down the bottom. And I think I'm going to call that a finished card, unless we needed a bit of bling. Do you think we need bling? We don't have our bling queen here today, to the best of my knowledge. There's some nice greetings in that set, isn't there? Yeah, it is quite multi-purpose. And thinking of you is a multi-purpose sentiment, in my opinion. You can use it in lots of different occasions. So that's really good. Do we need bling? That's the question. Oh, do you? Well, that's good. If you can hear me in your head, that's it's concerning, but it's also a good thing, Bronwyn. It means that something I've said is sunk in somewhere along the way. So let's have a look and see. What do I have here in what I've got? We've got iridescent rhinestones. Those always look good, but they're a little bit on the pinky side. We've got pearls, but I don't think they're quite right. I was thinking I have some tinsel gems, and tinsel gems are good because they come in Misty Moonlight, so that's a plus. Let's see. Oh, and I've also got, these would be nice. I've also got some of these white glitter sequins. Those are really nice as well. So there's a couple of options there. I was thinking this. I think the tinsel gems got used in class as well, so they're not back in my box. But that's okay. I'm sure we can make do with one of these. What do you think? The little silver gems? You mean like the festive pearls? Is that what you're thinking? No bling. No bling, says Jolene. No bling, says Anne. We've got a few people saying no. because we have the silver. Okay, all right, I'm happy to go with that. So we're not going to add any bling because we don't need it, because we kind of have some bling already. And there we go. I'm going to call that a finished card. How do we do? Does anyone have any questions about anything I did today, or anything that struck you as we were going through? Is there anything else that anyone would like to ask? A tiny silver something inside the dot on the thinking. The only thing is I don't like putting bling normally on the inside, because I'm worried that it's going to put a divot in the opposite side of the card when you close it, which sometimes happens. I think it might be finished. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to call that done for today. It's a bit of a short one for us today, but that's okay. Tomorrow, for anyone who's around tomorrow afternoon, I will be live an hour earlier than today. So today I started this video at 3 o'clock. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I have my monthly craft along video, and we're going to be working with the Meandering Meadows suite collection, which is actually one of our online exclusives at the moment. So some of you have probably seen it. It's that beautiful, beautiful paper. Let's see. I've got some of it here. So this gorgeous paper. So that's what I'm going to be creating with tomorrow. We're making a fun fold card that it's a bit of a different style of fun fold card. And I will show you all of that tomorrow. So we'll be live at 2 o'clock. Anyone who would like to join me. And I hope that you will have a fantastic day the rest of the day, whatever you might be doing. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye.